Everyone laughed when the new girl was covered in red paint on her very first day of school. They called her a loser. They said she didn't belong at Westbridge High. Even the teachers looked away, but no one knew one terrifying truth. The girl they humiliated was about to uncover a secret that would destroy the most powerful family in the entire school. And before this story is over, the students who ruined her life will beg for her forgiveness. This is the beginning of Mina's story. Part 1: The New Girl. The morning sky was gray as a small moving truck stopped in front of an old apartment building on the edge of the city. 17-year-old Mina Carter stepped out of the truck and looked around. The neighborhood was quiet, but it was nothing like the place she had grown up. Everything felt unfamiliar. She took a deep breath and smiled at her mother. "We'll be okay, Mom." Her mother smiled back, but the tired look in her eyes never disappeared. "I know we will." Mrs. Carter worked 2 jobs just to pay the rent. Ever since Mina's father disappeared years ago, the two of them had depended only on each other. Money was always tight. Sometimes they had cereal for dinner. Sometimes Mrs. Carter skipped meals so Mina could eat. Mina noticed everything, even when her mother tried to hide it. That was why she had made one promise to herself. She would study hard, earn a scholarship, and change their lives forever. 2 days later, Mina stood in front of Westbridge High School. It was the most prestigious school in the city. Luxury cars lined the entrance. Students in spotless uniforms laughed together as they walked through the gates. Some wore expensive watches. Others carried designer bags that cost more than a year's rent for Mina. She quietly looked down at her old backpack. "It's okay," she whispered to herself. "I'm here to learn." She had no idea that this school would change her life forever. Inside the main office, the secretary handed Mina a schedule. "Class 2A, she said politely. "Your homeroom teacher is Mr. Park." Mina thanked her and followed the map through the long hallway. Every classroom seemed brighter than the last. Every student looked confident. Every conversation suddenly stopped whenever someone noticed the unfamiliar girl walking alone. Whispers quickly spread. "Who's she? New student? She doesn't look rich. I've never seen her before." Mina pretended not to hear them. She finally reached classroom 2A. Mr. Park, a calm and respected teacher in his 40s, smiled warmly. "You must be Mina." "Yes, sir." "Come in." The classroom became completely silent. More than 30 students turned toward the door. Mr. Park wrote her name on the board. "Mina Carter. Class, this is your new classmate. I hope everyone will make her feel welcome." For a brief second, no one said anything. Then a few students politely clapped. Others simply looked away. Near the back of the room, one girl slowly crossed her arms. Her name was Jisoo Han. She was beautiful, confident, and undeniably the most influential student in school. As president of the student council and daughter of one of the city's wealthiest businessmen, she was used to getting exactly what she wanted. Her eyes scanned Mina from head to toe. Old shoes, simple uniform, cheap backpack. Jisoo smirked. Another scholarship student. How boring. "Please introduce yourself," Mr. Park said. Mina nodded. "My name is Mina Carter. I recently moved here with my mother. I like reading, science, and drawing. I hope we can become friends." Silence. Then, someone near the window quietly laughed. Another student whispered something. A few more followed. Within seconds, several students were giggling. Mina looked down. Had she said something wrong? Mr. Park cleared his throat. "That's enough." The room immediately fell silent. "Please take the empty seat beside Hannah." A cheerful girl near the middle of the classroom quickly waved. Over here. Mina smiled with relief. As soon as Mina sat down, Hana leaned closer. Don't worry. Your introduction was fine. Mina blinked. Then, why were they laughing? Hana hesitated. They laugh at anyone who's different. She lowered her voice. And around here, fitting in matters more than telling the truth. Before Mina could respond, someone dropped a notebook onto her desk. It belonged to the boy sitting behind her. I'm Ryan, he said with an easy smile. You forgot this. Oh. Ryan Carter, captain of the basketball team and one of the school's most admired students, had noticed the new girl the moment she walked into the room. There was something different about her. She didn't seem interested in impressing anyone. She looked genuine. Across the classroom, Jisoo watched the brief exchange without saying a word, but the smile on her face disappeared. She had spent years making sure every girl in school knew one rule. No one got close to Ryan without her approval. And now, the new girl had caught his attention in less than 5 minutes. Jisoo slowly turned toward her closest friend, Lily. Find out everything about Mina Carter. Lily raised an eyebrow. You think she's a problem already? Jisoo glanced toward Mina again. I don't know yet, but I always remove problems before they become dangerous. The school bell rang. Outside the classroom window, another student quietly watched everything from the rooftop across the courtyard. His name was Ethan Reed. Unlike everyone else, he wasn't smiling. He wasn't laughing. He was simply observing. And as his eyes followed Mina walking into her first class, he whispered to himself, she has no idea what she just walked into. Part 2, the Queen Bee's first move. The first lesson passed more slowly than Mina expected. Mr. Park explained the school's rules while students copied notes into their notebooks. Mina focused on every word, determined to make a good first impression. She didn't notice the eyes that kept drifting toward her. Some students were curious. Others were amused. And a few were already judging her. When the lunch bell rang, the classroom exploded with conversation. Groups quickly formed. Friends laughed together as they walked toward the cafeteria. Mina quietly packed her books, unsure where to go. Before she could leave, Hana appeared beside her with a bright smile. Come on. You can sit with me. Relief washed over Mina's face. Really? Of course. The two girls walked into the crowded cafeteria. The room buzzed with hundreds of conversations. Mina had never seen a school this large. As they stood in line for lunch, Hana pointed around the room. See that table by the windows? Mina nodded. That's where the basketball team sits. And over there. She pointed toward the center of the cafeteria. That's Jisoo's table. Mina turned. Nearly every seat around Jisoo was filled with students wearing expensive clothes and confident smiles. People greeted Jisoo as she walked by. Some even stood up for her. Is she really that popular? Mina asked. Hana sighed. Popular isn't the right word. What do you mean? People are afraid of her. At that moment, Ryan entered the cafeteria with his teammates. Cheers echoed across the room. Several girls waved excitedly. Ryan smiled politely but kept walking. As he passed Mina, he noticed her struggling to carry both her lunch tray and a stack of textbooks. Without saying a word, he reached out and steadied the books before they slipped. You've got them? Mina laughed nervously. I think so. You don't have to carry everything at once. Thanks. No problem. Ryan gave her a friendly smile before walking away. It lasted only a few seconds. but someone had seen everything. Across the cafeteria, Jisoo slowly lowered her fork. Her expression turned cold. Lily leaned closer. "You're not seriously jealous, are you?" Jisoo calmly placed her napkin on the table. "No." But she forgot something.
What?
"This school already belongs to me." After lunch, Mina walked toward her locker for the first time. She entered the hallway and searched for locker number 214. There it is. She smiled. As she reached for the handle, the locker door suddenly flew open. Books, papers, old food wrappers, everything crashed onto the floor. Students nearby burst into laughter. What happened? Did someone set her up? I think so. Mina froze. She hadn't even touched the locker. Someone had clearly stuffed it with trash. Her cheeks burned with embarrassment. She knelt down and quietly began picking everything up. No one helped. Most students simply watched. Some even took out their phones to record. A pair of polished shoes stopped beside her. Mina looked up. "Ryan." Without hesitation, he crouched down and picked up several books. "You don't have to do this," Mina said softly. But someone should. For a moment, the hallway became silent. Students stared in disbelief. Ryan Carter had just helped the new girl. That had never happened before. A sharp voice suddenly cut through the silence. "Ryan." He looked up. Jisoo stood at the end of the hallway, arms folded. "Basketball practice starts in 5 minutes. Ryan stood and handed Mina the last notebook. "You'll be okay?" Mina forced a smile. "I'll manage." Ryan hesitated. Then he walked away. As soon as he disappeared around the corner, the whispers returned. "She's trying to steal Ryan." No wonder Jisoo's angry. That new girl won't last a week. Mina pretended not to hear them, but every word felt heavier than the last. Later that afternoon, Lily cornered 2 students outside the library. "So? What did you find?" One of them grinned. "Mina's mom works 2 jobs. They live in a tiny apartment. No father. No money." Lily smiled. "Perfect." She immediately texted Jisoo. Target confirmed. When the final bell rang, Mina stayed behind to organize her notes. Mr. Park noticed. "You're very hardworking." "I'm trying to catch up." "You'll do well here." Mina smiled. "I hope so." As she left the classroom, she didn't notice someone slipping a folded piece of paper into her backpack. That evening, Mina arrived home exhausted. Her mother greeted her with a warm hug. "How was your first day?" Mina forced a smile. "It was
Okay.
She couldn't bring herself to tell the truth. Her mother had enough worries already. After dinner, Mina opened her backpack to finish her homework. A small folded note fell onto the desk. She frowned. "I don't remember putting this here." She unfolded the paper. 3 words were written in thick black marker. "You don't belong?" Below the message was a crude drawing of a girl covered in red paint. Mina stared at the page in silence. Her hands trembled slightly. Someone wanted her to leave. Someone had planned this before she even knew their names. Outside her bedroom window, across the street, a lone figure stood beneath a streetlight, watching the apartment building from a distance. His face was hidden by the darkness. It was Ethan. He looked toward Mina's lit bedroom window and quietly said, "They're moving faster than I expected." Then he turned and disappeared into the night. Part 3, The Trap. She stared at the threatening note on her desk for a long moment before folding it and slipping it into her notebook. She had barely survived her first day. Part of her wanted to stay home, but another part, the stronger part, refused to let fear decide her future. She looked at herself in the mirror. I won't run away. When Mina arrived at Westbridge High, the hallways were already crowded. Students laughed as they hurried to their classrooms. Some smiled at her. Others whispered the moment she walked past. She kept her head high. She had promised herself that she would never give anyone the satisfaction of seeing her cry. As she reached her locker, she noticed something strange. Everything inside was perfectly organized. Her books were neatly stacked. Her broken pencils had been replaced with new ones. There was even a small sticky note. Don't let them win. Mina looked around in confusion. Who had done this? She searched the hallway, but no one seemed to be watching. Not far away, Ethan quietly closed the book he was pretending to read. A faint smile crossed his face before he disappeared into the crowd. During English class, Mr. Park announced an upcoming project. For the next 3 weeks, you'll work in pairs. A wave of excitement swept through the classroom. Students immediately turned toward their friends. Mr. Park looked at his list. Mina Carter. He paused. You'll be working with Ryan Carter. The room fell silent. Then came the whispers. Seriously, Ryan? Why her? Jisoo's smile froze. Ryan looked surprised, but he simply nodded. Nice to be your partner. Mina smiled politely. I'll do my best. From the corner of the room, Lily leaned toward Jisoo. This is getting worse. Jisoo didn't answer. She was already planning her next move. After class, Ryan and Mina met in the library. They found a quiet table near the windows. Ryan opened his laptop. Where should we start? Mina laughed softly. Maybe with introducing ourselves properly. Ryan smiled. Good idea. For the next hour, they talked about school, books, and their dreams. Ryan learned that Mina loved science and wanted to become a doctor. Mina discovered that Ryan secretly hated the attention he received from everyone at school. I wish people saw me as a normal student, Ryan admitted. They only see the basketball captain. Mina nodded. I know how that feels. Ryan looked at her. No. I don't think anyone knows how hard your first day really was. Before Mina could respond, a camera shutter clicked somewhere behind the bookshelves. Click. Click. Neither of them noticed. But Lily did. She lowered her phone with a satisfied smile. She had exactly the photo she needed. By lunchtime, those photos had spread through nearly every student group chat. Ryan Carter secretly dating the new girl. Scholarship girl steals Jisoo's boyfriend. Westbridge's newest gold digger. The rumors spread faster than anyone could stop them. Students stared openly as Mina entered the cafeteria. Some laughed. Others pointed. Mina frowned. Why is everyone looking at me? Hana checked her phone. Her face immediately turned pale. Oh no. What happened? Without saying a word, Hana handed her the screen. Mina's heart sank. There she was, sitting across from Ryan in the library. The photos had been carefully cropped to make them look intimate. Comments filled the screen. She's desperate. She planned this. Poor Jisoo. Kick her out. Mina's hands began to shake. This isn't true. I know, Hana whispered. But no one online cares about the truth. Across the cafeteria, Jisoo slowly scrolled through the same photos. She smiled. Exactly as planned. She stood and walked toward Mina's table. The entire cafeteria grew quiet. Everyone knew something was about to happen. Jisoo stopped beside Mina. So, she spoke with perfect calm. You've been here for 2 days, and you're already chasing someone else's boyfriend. Mina immediately stood. Ryan isn't my boyfriend. We were working on a class project. Jisoo laughed softly. Really? Then why were you smiling at him like that? I wasn't. You expect anyone to believe that? Students around them began recording with their phones. Mina looked around desperately. No one said a word. No one stepped forward. Except one person, Ryan. He walked through the crowd and stopped beside Mina. That's enough. The cafeteria became completely silent. Ryan looked directly at Jisoo. The rumors are fake. I asked Mina to meet in the library. She did nothing wrong. For the first time in years, someone had publicly disagreed with Jisoo. Her smile vanished. She stared at Ryan for several long seconds. Then she turned back to Mina. This isn't over. She walked away without another word. But everyone in the room could feel it. A line had been crossed, and once Jisoo declared someone her enemy, she never stopped until they were destroyed. That afternoon, as students prepared for the school's annual welcome assembly, Lily quietly whispered to Jisoo, "So, what's the next step?" Jisoo glanced toward the stage where Mina had been assigned to help decorate for the ceremony. Her lips curled into a cold smile. We embarrass her in front of the entire school. The gymnasium was packed. More than 1,000 students filled the seats for Westbridge High's annual welcome assembly. Teachers stood along the walls. Parents and honored guests occupied the front rows. The student council hurried around the stage, making sure everything was perfect. Backstage, Mina carefully arranged the final decorations. She had volunteered to help because she wanted to prove that she belonged at Westbridge. Maybe if people saw how hard she worked, they would give her a chance. Hannah smiled as she adjusted a banner. You've done enough. Go take your seat before the ceremony starts. Mina nodded. Thanks for helping me. You don't have to thank me. We're friends. For the first time since arriving at Westbridge, Mina felt a small spark of hope. Maybe things were finally getting better. She was wrong. Across the backstage hallway, Jisoo stood with Lily and 2 student council members. Everything was already prepared. A large bucket of bright red paint hung above the backstage exit, hidden behind a curtain. A nearly invisible fishing line stretched across the doorway. Jisoo looked at the setup one last time. No mistakes. Lily nodded. It'll happen the second she walks through. Jisoo smiled without emotion. The principal stepped onto the stage. Please welcome all of our new students. The audience applauded. Mr. Park turned toward Mina. Could you bring the school flag to the front? Of course. She lifted the folded flag with both hands and hurried toward the backstage exit. Ryan noticed her from the audience. Something caught his eye. A thin line across the doorway. His expression changed instantly. Mina. He jumped to his feet, but the applause drowned out his voice. Mina pushed open the backstage door. The fishing line snapped. The bucket tipped forward. For one endless second, everything seemed to stop. Then, splash! Bright red paint poured over Mina from head to toe. The white school uniform instantly turned crimson. The flag slipped from her hands and landed on the floor. A shocked silence filled the gym. Then someone laughed. Another student joined in. Within seconds, laughter echoed through the entire auditorium. Dozens of phones rose into the air. Videos began recording. Photos were taken from every angle. Some students pointed. Others whispered. The new girl. Look at her. She's covered in paint. Mina stood frozen. Paint dripped from her hair. Her hands trembled. She couldn't hear anything except the pounding of her own heartbeat. She had never felt so humiliated. Ryan pushed through the crowd and ran toward the stage. "What are you doing?" He grabbed a jacket from a nearby chair and wrapped it around Mina's shoulders. "Don't listen to them." Mina looked at him, fighting back tears. I didn't do anything." Before Ryan could say anything else, Jisoo slowly walked onto the stage. She looked at Mina with perfectly practiced concern. "Oh, what a terrible accident." Her voice sounded sympathetic, but the faint smile in her eyes told a different story. Only Mina noticed it. Only Mina understood. This hadn't been an accident. Far above the gym, on the second-floor balcony, Ethan lowered the camera he had been holding. He had recorded everything. Not just the paint falling. Not just the laughter. But the moment one of Jisoo's friends secretly pulled the fishing line. He looked down at the video playing on his screen. Every second was clear. Every face was visible. He quietly saved the file. Then he whispered, "Now I finally have proof." That night, the video of Mina being covered in red paint spread across social media. By midnight, nearly every student in the city had seen it. Some mocked her. Some felt sorry for her. Most simply watched. Alone in her bedroom, Mina sat on the edge of her bed, still wearing the jacket Ryan had given her. Her mother gently knocked on the door. "I found something while unpacking." She handed Mina a small wooden box covered in dust. "It belonged to your father." Mina slowly opened it. Inside were old photographs, a faded silver key, and one picture that made her heart stop. In the photo, her father stood beside a much younger Principal Kim. On the back, someone had written a single sentence. "If anything happens to me, trust no one at Westbridge." Mina stared at the words, unable to breathe. Outside, thunder rumbled across the night sky. She had come to Westbridge hoping for a better future. Instead, she had walked straight into a secret that someone had tried to bury for years. To be continued.